Hey there, I'm Emmanuel, and today we're going to be going over ways to cut your expenses when renting out your property. So stick around and hear more. Hey there, I'm Emmanuel, and welcome to If I Can, You Can, the channel where if I can do it, you can do it too. And today we'll be going over 7 ways that you can cut expenses in your rental property. But first, if you like this content and you want to hear more of it, please like, subscribe, click the notification icon below. Hey, and if you have anything else you want to hear about, please leave it in the comments. I love responding to them. Number 1 is going to be researching and comparing insurance rates. Recently, there's been a trend throughout the United States of insurance companies raising their premiums for their customers. And when I had to plug in the new numbers for my premiums, in which case some of them went up 60% and one of them almost doubled, it almost killed my cash flow. And you can either sit with a company and see them suck away your cash flow, or you can call around and look for the best options. You may be able to use an insurance broker that can call around for you, or you can call several other agencies if you want to do that individually. But by calling around, instead of taking almost double the amount of insurance premiums I was going to have to take, I was able to call and actually have it reduced by almost $1,300 a year, which is significant when you're talking about cash flow. So keep in mind, if you have an insurance company raising rates, it may not happen all the time, but call around, you may get a better rate somewhere else. Don't leave out your options. Number 2 is negotiating with your vendors. Now, if you're a regular customer with somebody, like if you have an AC person that comes in at the beginning and the end of the summer to check your units, you might want to do yourself a favor and see if you can get a better rate because you're a regular customer with them. I was able to do this with my AC technician, and it actually better maintains your property. That way it can reduce your expenditures in the future because you're doing preventive maintenance, which coincidentally is number 3, performing regular maintenance. What you want to do is get ahead of the problem. It can cost you significantly more money if you don't do the maintenance that's needed. A small trickle out of a faucet can be a little bit at the beginning, a couple $100, but if you let that go and you have wood rot and the subfloor fall out of it and you have to replace a tile and bring it all up, you can be talking about thousands of dollars in the future when you could have nipped it in the bud for a couple of $100. So do yourself a favor. This one's a little bit of spend to save, but make sure you're taking care of the maintenance up front. Number 4, DIY when possible. If you have some holes in the wall and you feel like you can do it, maybe patch up some drywall and paint over it, and after you do the sanding and everything. That's not that much money. And if you already have the can of paint for the walls that you already painted, and it's just, a couple dozen bucks here and there for some drywall and some joint compound and whatever you need to do that, it's a lot cheaper than hiring someone out for a couple $100 to come do these light little projects. So if you're able to do that, go ahead and try to tackle some of those projects yourself. That way you can minimize your costs. Number 5 is streamlining your property management. Now, I don't really recommend hopping around between property managers because you get your biggest bang for your buck when you have someone in place and manages it all the way through. However, sometimes if a property management isn't working out for you, it's probably better to look at other options. You may be able to get a better product for lesser amount. Now, does it always happen? No, but sometimes it's worth shopping around and seeing what else they have. And that also goes for the property management software, the accounting software, all these things. They're always coming up with a new software. And if you want to hear more about what we use for our accounting and all of our stuff, just let me know in the comments below. But looking for better solutions, cheaper options that do the same thing, may be your best bet in some cases. Number 6 is using energy efficient features in the house. Now, this for more landlords that actually pay for their own utilities instead of having the renters pay for their utilities. But if you're one of those landlords, it may be worth it to look at a newer toilet or more energy efficient air conditioning unit. If it's at the end of its life, you have to replace it anyways. These little features here and there can add up to major savings at the end of the year. Even energy efficient faucets and shower heads. These things only cost a couple $100, but you can really see the savings stack up year over year, getting your return on investment. And that leads me in to number 7. And number 7 being reviewing and adjusting your rental prices. Now, that doesn't really sound like an expense, but talking about the landlords that pay for the utilities, if you're paying for the utilities, it may be worth adjusting it and maybe removing those utilities off of your side and putting them back onto the tenant. That's an expense you can cut if you're performing your management that way. But that's to each style of landlord and how you put your own properties and how you rent them out. But with that being said, those are 7 ways of reducing your expenses when renting your properties. That's 7 ways to cut your expenses when renting out your properties. Now, as always, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification icon, and let me know if you want to hear more of this content. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. But that's all I have for now, and I'll see you in the next one.